Si quieren asistir a este video en español, clic en el link en la descripción.
Hello everybody, welcome to this channel and welcome to this video. Today we're gonna walk through a calibration of a 2022 Chevrolet Equinox lane departure warning system. Before anything else, if you guys would like to check this video fully in Spanish, my partner Fernando made this whole video in Spanish, so please check on the link attached in the description below. With no more, oh, and also please make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and if you guys have any questions, any concerns, or any tips or advice, please leave a comment to us and we will be more than happy to respond or check your comments, okay? Let's start it. So right here we are having Fernando is already inside of the vehicle, and let me show this. He's grabbing the tablet right now, and as you guys can see here, the VCI is already connected, and he's going to start to do the pre-scan and the whole procedure of this calibration. Let's go. And beforehand, first of all, I'm sorry for the darkness of this video. He was recording inside the car and the car was inside another place. So the brightness is not really well. And also sorry for the things that are left on the vehicle for this particular company that we provide services for. The cars sometimes comes like this from the client, and we leave the car as is because we're there just to perform the calibration on the vehicle. And the reason why we did the calibration for this car is because the car had the windshield replaced, okay? So Fernando is um, exiting another previous job that he performed in order to start a new full diagnostic for this Chevy Equinox, okay? So he's getting out. And then now uh, the VCI already got the VIN number automatically. If you guys want to do this manually, you can always type this blue button right here at the top and then click auto detect VIN. Otherwise, if it is already detected, you can just type this button right here to start a new diagnostic, okay? So right here, it's where you're gonna insert the file's name. So this full job of pre-scan, calibration, and post-scan will make a file, which is a diagnostic file. And on this diagnostic file, you will have the full information about this job that you've done. So in order to make it easier to find this job later on, me and Fernando, we adopted a system where we attach the license plate of the vehicle. If the car doesn't have a license plate, we attach the last 8 of the VIN, dash, and the date. The date is because you can provide different jobs for the same car, and the license plate of the car might not change, or the VIN number will never change for this vehicle. So always we put the date so we can know when we performed this job and which job we're talking about, okay? Because if the customer comes back and wants to retrieve a previous information about the car, we will know right away where to have access to it. So right here, Fernando's gonna put the license and the date. Right now, the car, the VCI already fully got the VIN number. Fernando now will hit OK right here. And right here, Fernando is showing that there is no error on the panel. So mainly when you do a lane departure calibration on. Oh, and by the way, if you guys don't know what lane departure is, it's a camera that is attached on the windshield and is used to detect the lanes. Some vehicles will warn you when you go off the lane. This is called lane departure warning systems. Other brands will, or other vehicles will just keep you in between the lanes whenever you are starting to go off the lane. This is called LKAS, Lane Keep Assistance System, okay? Just as a disclaimer. So Fernando will do the pre-scan. And right now for the Chevrolets, um, it will ask you a bunch of different informations about this car, like the transmission, the type of radio, the type of cluster. These are information that you can previously have, or maybe if you guys want, you can have access to another website and then type the VIN number and it will give you a more specific informations about this vehicle. If you guys also want that we make a video and show you guys where we can find this information, please leave a comment below and we will either provide you guys the link, or if it's content for another video, we're gonna make a full video about this information, okay? So Fernando is selecting the informations. Here he's selecting the transmission, the type of the cluster, now the radio, and then he will hit OK. Right now he got access to the pre-scan menu, and right at this menu, we are working with Autel, but I believe that all brands, softwares has the same procedure. You cannot perform the calibration, whichever calibration you want to make, while you don't have made a previously pre-scan of the full vehicle. This is good for you because it's always good to know what is going on with the car before you even start to work on it. Because let's say that at some point in the future, the customer complains about something that has nothing related to the job you performed. And you can always provide them the documentation and show them that maybe it was on the car before you even touched the car. So this is good to save your business for any type of bad situation that can come with a customer complaining about something that you didn't make. Okay? So let's hit pre-scan, and then Fernando will he type it right here, fold scan, and right now at this frame right here, it will ask you the license plate of the vehicle and the odometer of the vehicle. Some brands will give you the odometer automatically, which is not the case for the Chevrolets. So Fernando will put this two informations manually, okay? The license you will always have to put manually. So here, let's advance it a little bit. Perfect. Right now, he's doing the full diagnostic of the vehicle and drink some Diet Pepsi. This video is not sponsored by Pepsi, by the way. All right, so right now, Fernando, uh, the previous frame, uh, it was asking if Fernando wanted to attach any photo with the pre-scan. So in our case, we have another software where we do this full step of taking pictures of anything that we find out about the car before we even start to work on it. But if you guys don't have access to other softwares, you can always do this through the software of your tablet. So take pictures and always keep your business safe for any problem that you might have in the future, okay? So now he's accessing, oops, sorry, got back. Just wanted to show you guys this. So Fernando click this button right here to quickly exit the pre-scan menu. This button contains like one car above the other and an arrow pointing down in between the two cars, okay? And then it will ask you if you are sure that you want to exit this page or this menu, you're gonna hit yes, okay? If you guys want the screenshots or want that we make another video show you step by step of this procedure, please comment and we will make the video, or if it's not a content for another video, we will answer you with a screenshot or anything related to it, okay? All right. Okay. So now Fernando will have access back and getting access to the post-scan menu. As you guys can see here, here are all the jobs that we have done previously. The first one is always the last one that we worked on. And there is two ways that you can have access to the post-scan menu. First of all, it will be throughout clicking on the whole square. When you click on the whole square, it's gonna bring you to another page, and right at the top on the right side is gonna have a diagnostic button. You can click this button and you're gonna have access to the post scan menu. Or if you want to quickly do it, you can always click at this little circle right here, which is gonna bring you directly to the post scan menu, okay? Oh, and now Fernando is explaining something that is really important. First of all, before while were doing the pre-scan, Fernando did this whole process with the engine on. Why he did that? Because it's always a good standard, because sometimes the pre-scan or the whole process can take a while, and if the battery of the car is not really well, the car might die during the procedure. It already happened to us, so we don't want that this happen to us again, and we are always trying to advise you guys to not make the same mistakes we've made. So keep the engine running while you're doing the full procedure of the pre-scan, and then when you notice that you're gonna need to have only ignition on, you can always turn the car off and then turn only ignition on. And that's what Fernando will do. He will turn the car and engine, actually he's gonna turn the ignition and engine off, and then he's going to push the start button and turn only ignition on. In this case, we're having here a Chevrolet, and for the Chevrolets and GMCs, of course, you will always need to push the start button for about 5 seconds, but the trigger is always that you're gonna hold it until the cluster turns on, okay? So he's turning off, and now he's gonna push the button. He's explaining here. So now he's pushing. He will, okay. I'm anxious. Let's go, Fernando. Right now, he's pushing the button, and then the lights will turn on. Right now. Perfect. Now he's gonna have access back to the post scan menu through the blue circle that I told you guys. And now he's doing the full scan of the ADAS. Okay, before that, he got access to the ADAS menu. So, okay, so here he's showing that we replaced the windshield. And right now he's gonna click on the front recognition camera, I believe, which is right here. But always make sure that you guys find the symbol that contains a car getting off two lanes, okay? And then he's gonna type the target button to start the calibration. And here he's choosing the reason why he's performing the calibration. In our case, he's doing this calibration because he replaced it, or not he, but we got this car from a windshield replacement, okay? And then now it's showing him some requirements. If you guys want these requirements, we can take a screenshot next time we do a Chevrolet and put on the link and put on the comments or on the description. Please, if you guys want that, leave a comment and we will give that information to you guys, okay? And right now, this is the reason why Fernando just started the ignition and didn't run the engine. Because right now, as you guys can see here, the value that the engine speed is returning is 0. If you guys are having the engine running, these values will change for a bunch of different values, and you will not be able to type the OK button and perform the calibration. So always, while you are doing the calibration of a Chevrolet or GMC, you will have to leave the ignition on in order to press OK and have access to the calibration procedure, okay? So he's just explaining this. All right, let me. He's explaining here, so he's hitting OK. And now there's a message telling him that he can turn the engine on. And at this point, when the tablet tells you so, you can turn the engine on and safely start the calibration, okay? So he pressed the brake and the button, and he's gonna press OK. And right now, it's showing, he's gonna press OK. He's starting the car again. Sorry, guys. And then right now, it's showing the percentage of the calibration, which is 0. You guys cannot see really well, but it's 0. And here is a bar loading, which is going to load the full calibration process. And here are some other disclaimers and requirements for performing this calibration. Um, it will show you some obvious things, but it's always good to aware you guys and tell you guys. But first of all, make sure that the car has enough gas to perform the calibration. Make sure that the tires have the pressure really well matching, and that the safety pressure, which means that make sure that the car is safe to drive, okay? If the car is safe to drive, you're gonna be able to perform a really good calibration, okay? If you guys want also the screenshot for this part, we can always provide you guys. Make sure you comment and ask for it, please. And then he's gonna put the tablet on the side and he's gonna start to drive the vehicle. All right. I just want to check something. Okay, perfect. Now he's driving the vehicle. And then I'm gonna just advance this part. All right. Another Pepsi sip. He loves Pepsi. Diet. All right, he's showing that it was at 83%. Skip driving. Okay. All right. Oh, and perfect. When the bar loading is at 100%, the car will not give you yet a feedback that the calibration is performed. Why? The tablet will tell you to drive the car a little bit more in order to receive that feedback. Always make sure that you're driving and you're gonna receive a feedback from the cluster while you're making a calibration for a Chevy, which is gonna be the one that Fernando will show you in a little bit. And then right now, as you guys can see right here, there is a green light with a little car on it. This is showing that the calibration was performed and the lane departure is working. Okay? Now that he got the feedback, he's able to bring the car back to a safety spot and perform the finishing of this calibration. Okay? So here he's pointing the green light. All right, let's advance this a little bit. Let's bring the car to a safety spot. Pepsi. All right. Let's get back. You guys don't need to see this part. Now he's parking the car. And then at this point, he will need to turn the ignition off. We will press OK. It's going to load this screen. Okay, let's wait until this loads. It will probably take about 10 seconds. And then it will tell you to put at the same position that it was when Fernando started to do the calibration, which is push the push start button and hold it for about 5 seconds, but the trigger is the lights on the cluster will turn on. So Fernando will show really well right now how to do it. So he's pressing, keeping, and then he got the lights back from the cluster right here. When you have this, the car is on ignition on position, okay? It's gonna hit OK. And then it's telling to check if the lane warning indicator had turned green. Throughout the whole process of the calibration, this if you try to use it, you will not be able to use it and the light will be amber. So at the point that the light comes from amber to green is the moment that the calibration is well performed, okay? So he will tell that yes, because that is what we saw before. So, okay. Now he's gonna take a screenshot of the process. And then at this point, he's gonna do a pulse scan of this car and then attach this a screenshot that he took at the within the pulse scan and having the whole file and the whole documentation done. So it was a good calibration 2022 Chevrolet Equinox. Again, if you guys want to watch this whole content in Spanish, Fernando make this whole content in Spanish. And also, please make sure that you guys push the like button on this video for this video. If you guys want more content, please leave a comment below. If you guys have concerns, questions, or tips, we will read it and give you guys answers. Also, make sure that you guys subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you guys on the next time. Bye bye.